Hi everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 17, Episode 14. Viva la Tres Amigas. Well, if the title didn't tip you off, we are in Mexico. It's the first night, we're at dinner. We are picking up right where we left off last week. Just because you say something emphatically doesn't make it true. Just because you say something with your hands like this doesn't make it true either. So there's awkward silence now, and Heather gets up and leaves the table. Emily says she's pissed that Heather called her a liar. She and Shannon made up, and she just thinks that Heather is stirring up trouble. Tamara goes to check on Heather. She's like, oh no, I'm fine. I was just going to the bathroom. But she is tired of people saying that she said something when she didn't. Also that she knew that the ladies were going to react poorly to her great news about selling the house. In her confessional, she's like, the sale of the house is huge. Why would I even think sharing my good news would be met with anything other than this bullshit? Okay, but that's the thing, Heather. You didn't share the news. They learned about it the way we all learned about it, and we're not friends of yours. I think that they genuinely were reacting to you not trusting them with the news rather than the news itself. I think they're happy for you selling your big house, and they would have been had you told them. It's just like, you know, you wouldn't want to hear that your friend like got married or had a baby or sold her house from page 6. You kind of wonder why I was literally with you last night and you didn't say a word. Like, that's what everybody's bothered by, Heather. Not that they're jealous of your big fat house. So anyway, Tamara goes, well, listen, you can stay in our room. And Heather's like, why? Shannon doesn't like me either. Good point. Meanwhile, at the table, Emily is saying, Heather even said to me, I can't say what it is because Shannon put it in the vault. And Jen goes, okay, do I finally get to hear what's in the vault? So Shannon, having tossed back a few tequilas already, says, I'll be honest with you all. It's normal relationship stuff. Well, thank you for your honesty. No, I mean, she does say that when they first were dating, she saw him all the time, every day, and now it feels like he's making excuses not to be around. You know, like, I have to go to work, I have to feed the dog. No, she admits that, like, she has abandonment issues, and she doesn't want that for the girls and all that. And the ladies are pretty supportive, and they're like, yeah, I get it. I mean, it went pretty well. Of course, Shannon won't remember any of it tomorrow, but it did. Now, and I think we're seeing a flashback of something that never aired in the first place. Either that or I missed it. Now Shannon is apologizing to Jen for having said that there was more to the Ryan story, something juicy with the Jen, Ryan, TW saga. It was a threesome. It was Jen, Ryan, TW, and Rob Minkoff. Either that or it was just a Rob Minkoff sanctioned three-way. Unclear whether Rob participated or not. Side note for those of you who are new here, well, 2 side notes, I guess, because I just mentioned Rob Minkoff. That's a running joke from Beverly Hills. If you don't watch Beverly Hills, don't worry about it. If you do, I'm making fun of Erica when she was drunk. She was asking Crystal if she would ever have a three-way with all these people, and in every scenario, Rob was in it. I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but that just evolved into a whole big running joke about Rob Minkoff having these like official three-ways that he like runs in the greater Los Angeles area. So dumb. Anyway, we were having fun with that. But the other side note for those of you who are new here, sometimes I call Ryan TW. It's the same person. It's just that I'm referring to early on when Tamara called him the town whore. I was tickled by that. I don't know why. I think it's adorable that the town has a whore. I imagine Ryan in the back of a saloon, fishnets and a corset, leading the cowboys upstairs in the back, kind of a thing. I just think it's funny. So I have just shortened town whore to TW. That's all. Sometimes I say TW, sometimes I say Ryan. It's the same person. So the story is that somebody said that Tamara has so much more information about Ryan than has already come out, I guess. How much more could there be? Really? I mean, we already know he's expanding his dick pic list. That's become quite the money earner, I think. He's upgrading the lighting, new camera, maybe a spray tan. I don't know. He's enhancing the whole operation. So, ladies, if you're not on the recipient list, now's the time. Just saying. Okay, so evidently Tamara and Jen have a mutual friend at the gym. In Jen's confessional, she said, "She told me your friend Tamara reached out to me for information about your relationship." So far that tracks, right? That sounds about right. In Tamara's confessional, she said, "This is the girl that Ryan was cheating on Jen with, and I was not digging for information. Ryan and this girl got into a big fight at Nobu." Side note, remind me to steer clear of Nobu. It's definitely a relationship killer. Anyway, Tamara says they got in a fight at Nobu, and this girl wanted to retaliate. So she sent Tamara all the text messages between her and Ryan, while Ryan was in a relationship with Jen. But I'm sure Jen is going to say they were on a break. Tamara goes on to say, there's a part of me that really wants to protect Jen, but then I know she knows all this stuff and is playing dumb. It's so frustrating. So then leave her alone. Like, honestly, as a friend, if you found out that your friend's husband or boyfriend was cheating on them, there's always that moment when you pause and go, oh my God, I need to tell her, I'm her friend, but also I don't want to tell her because it's going to hurt her and all that kind of thing. And so you have that struggle. But because you're friends, you tell her anyway, even though she might shoot the messenger, be mad at you for doing it. You do it anyway because you don't want her to be with this cheater and this scumbag. That part, okay, Tamara, if you're telling us that Jen knows all this stuff and she's still with him, now you got to back off. She's a grown woman. You got to back off. If you're giving her information she doesn't know about, that's different. Everybody wants their friend to have all the facts before she makes any decisions. But you're telling us now she knows all this and she's still staying with him. Yeah, that might be frustrating to you. But if it's not frustrating to Jen, I think at that point, you got to back off. It's not your business anymore. As her friend or otherwise, it's no longer your business. Okay, so Heather and Tamara come back to the table, and Heather has a gift that she wants to pass out to everybody. She's like, gives Emily hers, and Emily goes, "Oh, I get one too? But I'm an asshole." And Heather goes, "Well, we'll dive into that later." Okay, can't wait. So I don't know what's in this pizza-shaped box yet, but this is just my guess. I'm not really guessing what's in there, but I'm just telling you, I feel like a gift from Heather Dubrow is going to be, just in general, is going to be obscenely priced as well as something you don't want. It's just a hunch, but I feel like she's the type of person that buys crazy expensive things. I don't know, like let's say an ugly figurine that costs 20 grand. Now you feel kind of obligated to put it on a shelf somewhere, but you don't really want to look at it. That kind of thing. Oh, okay. Well, it's an assortment of items. It's earplugs and personalized paper fan and a Mexican blanket, maybe a straw hat. I was half right. I think I was just wrong about the part where it cost a lot of money. I probably still did, but okay. All right, so the next morning over breakfast, Heather and Emily make up, sort of. Many of these, let's make up, have a fresh start kind of conversations are just kind of dumb. Because at the core, these ladies really don't like each other. Unless it's somebody like Tamara, Shannon, and Vicky. I genuinely think those three are friends in real life. But the rest of the time, I don't know. I don't know if any of them truly enjoy each other's company. Anyway, they go through the motions and yeah, they're fine. So this morning, the ladies are going to be driving ATVs and then going to a watering hole. Shannon's on her ATV. Oh, God. Gina compares Shannon to Jennifer Coolidge in White Lotus when she was on the back of the Vespa. Anyway, after a short ride, they are now jumping 36 feet into this murky water. Well, Emily is anyway. You guys know how I feel about murky water. It's not my favorite. And Emily jumps from the 36 feet and she's a little out of breath. She gets a nosebleed. I mean, it didn't seem super fun to me. But some of the others, Jen, Tamara, and Gina, I think, they did like a zip line down. Oh no, Gina jumped from a lower platform, but the other two did like a zip line and then dropped into the water from a lower point as well. And the next scene we get is the ladies getting ready for dinner. Tamara and Shannon are in their room, and Shannon asks Tamara about her purse. I guess the kids, I don't know, her daughters either gave it to her or it's her daughter's purse or something. And she's asking Tamara, does this look okay with my outfit or is it going to cheapen it? And Tamara says, as long as it's not like Jen's purse today, a fake Chanel. Yeah, she's got the Fennel, the Fundy, the Fucci that she's got. Yeah. In her confessional, Tamara really goes off on her friend Jen. Jen was this yoga mom, and now she's dripped in fake designer clothes. Tamara is nothing if not a sweet, supportive friend. So now there's a knock at the door. Who could it be? Well, these two ladies have become Tres Amigas because it's Vicky Gunvalson. Shannon's crying, Tamara's peeing, and a great time was had by all. As far as the other ladies, they get downstairs to the restaurant and they notice there's an extra chair, but they kind of brush it off. They don't think it's anything. And then Vicky makes her grand entrance with Shannon and Tamara. But they get there and everyone's like, oh, so surprised. And Vicky comes around to hug everybody. I heard you guys were here. I couldn't be left out. We got to whoop it up. Now, Emily and Gina, less thrilled than everybody else. In Gina's confessional, she said, Vicky made it very clear how she feels about Emily and I. And it's not great. I don't read all the nasty stuff that she writes, so I don't bring it up. Just whoop it up, Vicky. Let's whoop it up. Tres abuelas. Oh, God, that was the best part of it. Tres abuelas. And now in Emily's confessional, she says, for someone who has no relevance at all, she sure does talk about us a lot. I mean, clearly she's a fan. All right, so everyone's chit-chatting at the table, and I guess after the ATV ride, the ladies had split up into two groups. I think it was Taylor, Shannon, and Gina. They went to a spa, and all the other ladies went to a water park. Surprisingly, Heather was at the water park with Tamara, Emily, and Jen. We get this flashback, and over lunch with the water park ladies, Emily was talking about needing more time to repair this, and she takes her sunglasses off. I think she was talking about her nose. I'm not 100% sure. But what happens is Heather says, that's okay. You look like a snuffleupagus in a good way. Yeah. There is no good way to look like a snuffleupagus. I mean, Snuffleupagus is a beloved character, but I don't think you want to necessarily look like him. Side note, someone recently commented, I'm not going to get this verbatim, but it was something like, oh, I didn't realize you hated Heather until this episode. And that's actually not true. I don't hate Heather. Most of you guys who have been here since the beginning know that I don't feel that strongly about people that I don't know in real life. I mean, I love somebody who's going to make for an exciting show, a fun show, something funny, something I can laugh at. I love someone who's good for TV. But I don't hate any of them. And on the flip side of that is I'm not a ride or die for anybody either. So if Heather says something mean, I'm going to point it out. If somebody's mean to Heather, I'm going to point that out too. That's just how I do it. I already said I like rich people. I'm genuinely happy for them. But do I feel like the G6 dance was a little disgusting from Terry? Yeah, I do. None of this was said in front of the other ladies or their friends or anything. But they knew the cameras were there. So it wasn't just like this private moment where they were like, we got a lot of money, baby. It was on camera. I don't know. I would have contained it until the cameras were off. But do I think Heather brags to the other ladies about her money? I don't really. So now, having said that, When you have had a rocky friendship with someone that you have just agreed to start fresh with, and you call them a snuffleupagus, I think you know what you're saying. I think you know what you're saying, and it's not nice. So what happens now at the table is, there's a lot of like crosstalk, and women are just kind of talking with who's sitting next to them at the table. And Emily says to Jen and Tamara, who were also there at the water park, somebody says something to her and she goes, well, I'm a snuffleupagus, remember? And Tamara goes, yeah, I Googled that. And that has nothing to do with thing. And Jen goes, isn't he like this guy? So now I'm wondering if it isn't a nose job. Was it something else? Was she gesturing somewhere else? I don't know. But right now, Emily goes, it's fine. It's fine. Like, she doesn't want to get into it. And Vicky goes, what's going on? And they're like, nothing. From across the table, Heather goes, we're just going to have fun tonight. She didn't hear it either, by the way. In Emily's confessional, she said, this is the thing about Heather. She thinks I'm mean, and then she says something mean. Like calling me a snuffleupagus. It's a big, huge, furry Muppet. Yeah. And also, I feel like it's insensitive in terms of like Emily being bigger than her, size-wise. It wasn't good. It wasn't a kind comment in any way. Anyway, after dinner, the ladies get a private showing of Cirque du Soleil Hoya. And even the little bit they showed us was amazing. First of all, they're the only ones in the theater and they're sitting at this big table. Some of the acrobatic stuff is going on the table. Anyway, really cool. After that, everyone heads back to Tamara and Shannon's room. Well, after they all get in their pajamas, and then they're just hanging out there. Someone suggests truth or dare. Vicky's like, oh, that could be dangerous. Shannon starts and she says, Taylor, truth or dare? And Taylor goes, well, I'm always going to take a dare. Shannon, okay, I want you to lick both of Emily's nipples tonight. Emily's like, why me all the time? So Tamara has passed out bathing suits to everyone. These one-piece bathing suits that, they either look like a guy's hairy chest, or you've seen these before, where it looks like somebody else's body, right? On a white, like one-piece bathing suit. Anyway, so Emily holds hers up over her shirt, and Taylor comes around and licks that. And it's, so far so good. Everyone's still laughing and having fun. And now Jen asks Vicky, truth or dare? And Vicky says truth. And Jen goes, oh, well, now I wish someone else would ask the question because I don't know you that well. I wish I had more history. Vicky, I think you and I have a situation where we love a man who might not be right for us. And you know it in your gut. Well, talk about a mood killer. This is like the part like in a sitcom where like everything gets serious all of a sudden. The music changes. We're laughing. There's a laugh track going on. We're all having a good time. And then something serious happens. And you're not expecting it. That was just such an intense mood shift. Jen looks like, what the f***? That is not deterring Vicky, though. I wish I knew that what I know now. And Gina finally says, you're really saying that to Jen? Vicky, oh, that's my truth. I don't think that's how the game goes. I think someone's supposed to ask you a question, Vicky. Taylor's like on the other side of Vicky, and she goes, with Ryan? And Vicky goes, Ryan who? Oh, doesn't even know the town whore's name. So Tamara starts laughing. She's on the other side of Vicky, and she turns to Jen and she goes, she just said Ryan who? So they're laughing. Jen manages to laugh a little. And she goes, that's the man you're talking about, to Vicky. So Jen knows that, of course, because Vicky doesn't know Ryan or her, that Vicky clearly heard this from Tamara. In Vicky's confessional, she admits, oh, who did I hear from? Tamara, of course. Teletamara, telephone, teletamara. All right, so everyone's like kind of heading back to their rooms now. In their room, Gina says to Emily and Heather, why wasn't Jen saying anything after Vicky said that to her? Right? It's weird. Like, she's got to defend herself. They're all like, yeah, I don't know. Right. Okay, so it is the next day in lovely Playa del Carmen. All the ladies, other than Trace Amigas, are in their bathing suits from Tamara, meeting by the pool for a water aerobics class. Gina's looks like Borat with that, like, one-piece bathing suit. Heather's looks like a guy with like ripping his shirt open or something. And Taylor tells them that after they left the night before, she and Jen were still in the room and that Shannon was starting to like not have a good night. The tequila was kicking in and she was getting weepy. She was weepy, Shannon. She was crying because she thought she was going to be left out because she wasn't going to put the bathing suit on. She's unhappy with her body. Taylor starts crying, thinking about it. Emily said, I wish I could talk to her about, having a more positive body image. All the ladies are sympathetic. But in Emily's confessional, she said, I think this is John's doing because he's very critical of Shannon. Yeah, he definitely sounds like someone I'd like to spend more time around. Go home and take care of your dog. That's fine. Well, here comes Tres Amigas now, and it does look like Shannon's wearing her bathing suit, so I'm happy about that. Yeah, the water aerobics, they're all like getting along with each other, but the class goes too long, and they're like, okay, I need to get out of here. And they all get out, and Emily wraps her hair in a towel, and Heather says that she looks like Mrs. Doubtfire. Well, that's unattractive comparison number 2. So they do talk about that. Emily brings it up and they get to talking about Snuffleupagus. Heather says that she loved Snuffleupagus when she was growing up and like he was her friend. Okay. I guess Emily can be grateful that she didn't love Miss Piggy. Actually, as I think about it now, that comparison has already been made from Slade about Vicky. These people are harsh. Anyway, Gina's like, no woman wants to be compared to a large, hairy animal. Yeah, or Robin Williams in drag, by the way. Old lady drag. Emily doesn't pursue it. I mean, they're still fine, I guess. But she does acknowledge that Heather does not like to discuss things when she's at fault. She likes to just kind of brush over them. All right, now we are all sitting down for breakfast. And I don't know, we talk about a bunch of small talk, including Steve's breakfast sausage-sized penis. I don't know. I haven't watched any of the Ultimate Girls Trips, but apparently Taylor remembers Vicky talking about Steve's tiny penis. And Vicky's like, yeah. He didn't want me to touch it because somebody else was touching it, but I didn't know that at the time. So then Gina, who's sitting right next to Jen, whispers to her, doesn't it bother you that people talk about Ryan? And Jen's like, yeah, I don't understand it. I just want to know where the f it's coming from. And Tamara goes, oh, I heard the F-bomb. What happened? Gina, I asked her if she was upset about last night. And they're like, oh, you're bringing up last night again. And Jen goes, yeah, I don't know Vicky. So who in our friend group would tell her? And so Tamara cuts her off and goes, well, I think we all know who the mutual friend is. And she goes, who? And Tamara goes, me. Jen, why would you do that? Tamara, well, because Vicky and I are very close. We talk on the phone all the time. Jen looks at her and she goes, I don't get you. You're malicious and mean? I was at dinner with a friend and she mentioned the girl's name who Ryan slept with. And Tamara goes, Alex. Jen's like, okay. Jen says she doesn't know Alex. Tamara, you never talked to her? And Jen goes, now that's a baited question and you know it. Why don't you just say what you really want to say, Tamara? Tamara's like, I'm just asking a question. She's so innocent. Jen goes, yeah, I have talked to her. She said you reached out and said, send me everything. So if you need my shit to air for you to be more fucking relevant, good for you. Wow. Was that Jen? Okay. All right. Tamara, of course, denies that. Then she says, yeah, it happened during his relationship with Jen for a year. Like this affair was going on for a year, this thing with Alex. And Jen goes, it was one time and I wasn't with him. Tamara just laughs. And Jen goes, what do you know, Tamara? Come on, spill it. Tamara goes, that he was sleeping with her while you guys were dating. he sent a text message to her while you guys were at a concert in San Diego saying, and now Jen and Tamara say this simultaneously, get naked in my bed. Jen goes, I know about that. Now Gina takes her hand and she says very gently, why are you with this person then? Yeah, I mean, none of us know. Jen, you're way too good for him. In her confessional, Jen said, I love Ryan, so I forgive Ryan. I'm not protecting him, but why do I have to keep talking about it? So Tamara goes, I don't want you to get hurt. Jen yells at her, so it's your job to busy yourself in my pain? And Tamara goes, I apologize. And Jen goes, you don't, which I loved that she said that. So now Tamara, screaming, proving that she doesn't really mean the apology. You don't show any emotion ever. You sit there like you had a lobotomy. Why is that your problem, though, Tamara? I'm going to go back to what I said before. You can't force her to act the way you think she should. Anyway, Jen is crying. And she said, because it's easier. That's why I do it, because it's easier that way. Tamara, okay, well, you've ruined your whole family to go. And Jen goes, I did not ruin my whole family. How dare you? Shannon's like, don't go there. Don't go there. Sorry, Shannon, she's going there. Tamara, you left them for a player. You're not the only person he fucked at my gym. And Jen goes, state your facts. What do you know? Tamara, no, I'm a liar, remember? And Jen's like, that's what you do, Tamara. This is so typical of you. Tamara, everybody knows he's a player. Then she turns to Emily and she goes, your mother-in-law knew he was a player. What? Perry? Please tell me Perry's not on the dick pic list. Not my tiny little precious Perry. Anyway, Emily's like, oh, she did say that. This just feels brutal now, guys. Jen's crying. In Heather's confessional, she's like, okay, he's a slut. He's a hoe. He's a gigolo. What's the end game here? What does Tamara want? Well, Tamara says that she's sorry. She's like, I don't like you with him, and it's hard for me to hold back. I did that with Vicky. Then we get a flashback to the reunion episode when Tamara said, I don't think he's good for you. And Vicky goes, how would you know? And then Tamara gives her iconic, that's my opinion. So wait, is Tamara really the best friend ever? Like she won't let up until you leave the guy that's not good for you? Oh, wrong. Well, that didn't last long. Tamara now says, don't lie to our faces like you're Fucci or you're fake Fendi. You have to be honest. I want you to be happy. I really do. Do you? Because I think if you want her to be happy, you wouldn't be calling her out on her fake designer stuff. I'm just saying. You might just acknowledge it and let it slide. It's not hurting you. Then Taylor just asks Jen, do you want to go for a walk? And she said, yeah, I do. And they get up, and as they're walking away, Tamara calls after her, I'm honest. Be fucking smart. And that is where we end today's episode. Yeah, it was rough. I mean, there were some things I liked that got out there. I liked that it seemed like Jen had found her voice, at least for some of the time. And I think that all this dancing around the Ryan stuff at the beginning, it's out now. I think it's pretty much out. I don't think that Tamara has anything that she's holding back on. Now we know about Alex. We know her name. We know, according to Tamara, that it's been going on for a year. And I'm starting to believe that Jen knows that also. She's told us a number of times in her confessionals, I know everything. And whether this is some sort of purging that TW did to absolve himself from the past, and now here's everything horrible I've done, but from now on, but I just, the stuff that lingers with me is his dinner with Jen's mom. If I had my way, she'd be divorced and we'd be engaged, and I don't want to hear that anymore. You're kind of an asshole. And I don't think you deserve Jen. As much as I hope that she doesn't stay with you, I also wouldn't say anything more about it if I were her friend, because I know she knows everything. If she's got blinders on, if she's looking at him through rose-colored glasses, then so be it. She's a grown woman. I think, she gets to make her own choices and she gets to make her own mistakes. So Anyway, that's just my feeling. What's your feeling? Leave it in the comments below. I love to hear from you guys. If you liked this recap, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. And clicking on the bell icon will give you notifications every time I post something new. All right, that's it for me. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye.